So, the coronavirus. Well, the World Health Organization has now declared it a global health emergency. We now have a report from Chicago of person-to-person passage. It's a wife to her husband. So, how much danger really is present for Iowans and Americans in general? An expert on infectious diseases, Patty Olinger, is with me on the Lamarca Law Group Newsmaker line. Patty, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Well, thank you very much.
So, Patty, the average Iowan is just wondering at this point, how much at risk am I with all these news reports swirling around, including the Global Health Emergency Declaration? What's the level of risk here?
So, it's one of those. It's those times that we now have to be cautious. We have to be paying attention to what's going on, because with this virus, we just don't know yet how quickly it might spread if it were to get into the United States. And yes, it is here, but if it were to get out, then, we need to be very vigilant as to, our work practices is our day-to-day practices of how we even protect ourselves against the flu.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Patty. I don't want to, cause any untoward panic, but as you're saying, we just do want to use common sense in keeping ourselves protected. So what should I be doing?
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face if you haven't washed your hands. Carry hand sanitizer with you if you're not don't have access to being able to wash your hands. If you're sick, stay home. If you do travel, pay attention to those touch points that, may not get cleaned all the time. Making sure that you are paying attention to those types of activities and behaviors.
And when I've been watching some news reports on television news, Patty, I've seen they've really focused on airplanes and air travel. What are some special tips you can give me about if I'm traveling, how do I protect myself just in case? Because I know it's in the back of everybody's mind as they're getting on the plane. So what do I do?
Well, I will tell you what I do. I actually carry sanitizing wipes with me. If I'm going to be on the plane, I'm going to be using the trays and everything. You know that they don't have time to really go down and wipe those down and sanitize and disinfect them. And so I will wipe them down. I pay attention to, again, it's hard not to scratch your nose or, touch your mouth or eyes. I really try and avoid doing that, and I wash my hands a lot. The other thing is that, as industries, those of us who, the industries that are out there that clean on a day-to-day basis and sanitize and disinfect, we don't hear about that sometimes in the news very much, but it's an opportunity for them. There is this very big correlation between cleanliness and sanitization and disinfection and health, and it's time. That's kind of my industry with ISSA and the International Sanitary Supply Association and GBAC, the Global Biorisk Advisory Council. That's one of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis.
That's a great point, Patty, because I'm often, my plane will arrive and people will get off the plane, and then, of course, I'm going to get back on it, but I have to wait, for the plane to be prepared. And I would assume that a lot of the publicity like this around the coronavirus has these cleaning companies and cleaning people really thinking about how they approach their job. Do you think that there's a lot of folks reminding each other in this industry, hey, we really do have to clean that airplane carefully?
Absolutely. The airplane, the airports, public transportation, you have some big events coming up where a lot of people will be congregating, how they, set up hand sanitizing stations and, how they're cleaning the bathrooms, how they're cleaning those public areas that people will be congregating to.
And Patty, one of the things that you're pointing out is the more that we're all talking about it, the more people become aware of it. And that seems to be a good thing, because I was noticing, you just mentioned this earlier, that with everybody being on heightened alert about the coronavirus, isolation of anybody that might have it seems to be the way that people are attacking. Is that what you're seeing as well, that a quick quarantine really is going to help prevent an outbreak of this across the nation?
Absolutely. One of the things that's a little disconcerting about this virus that is still unknown is that there is speculation that an individual may be infectious before they even show symptoms. And if you think about it, what we're hearing is that the symptoms are very similar to a common cold. And we don't necessarily stop living out in public with a common cold. And so because of that, if there's a possibility that someone, has this virus, that quarantine or even self-quarantining is really important.
Patty, I can see texts on a text line with questions for you as you and I are talking, and one person's pointing out to me, and I've seen this as well, a lot more people are wearing the face masks on airplanes. Is that, in fact, helpful, or is that just something making us feel better about the situation?
Depends on what's going on. If you have a cold, that's one of the things that a face mask, and there's a difference between a face mask and a true respirator. And so a face mask is really intended for individuals who are sick or, for sneezing so that the droplets don't get out. And also, in some situations, it also helps us remember not to touch our face. And you'll see them a lot in healthcare organizations, especially, if you go into the emergency room and you have an upper respiratory cold and potentially the flu or this, they are going to give you a face mask so that you are not, sneezing or coughing droplets. But there's a huge difference between a face mask or a medical mask and a true respirator. A true respirator, meaning that it provides respiratory protection.
That is a great point. Expert on infectious diseases, Patty Olinger. Patty, a really important topic that's on the top of a lot of people's minds today. Thank you for taking the time with me.
Thank you, and I'll just remind everybody, from GBAC and from ISSA, we are all microbial warriors in this, and we can all have a part.
That's a great point. Thank you, Patty, very much for joining me today.